Welcome to an interview video for the holiday market. So while you are shopping for all your wonderful holiday gifts, it is always good to know what you can do with the things you may already have in your home that would otherwise go to waste. And towards that end, we have Anna and Arrien from the Concordia University Center for Creative Reuse, otherwise affectionately known as CUCCR, to explain a little bit more about that. So if you'd like to first tell us a little bit more about how CUCCR came to be and what you do, take it away.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Emma. It's really wonderful to be here today with you guys, with you all. It's, such a strange time to not be inside of Concordia and on campus. And so this is a second best thing. And we're really happy to be here. CUCCR came about in 2017. We opened the doors in the hall building basement where we collect usable materials from on campus. So it's a material reuse center where things come in from all over, and then we give that stuff away for free. So it's waste diversion, it's a community gathering place, and we moved in 2019 to a bigger space, much bigger space in Green Ends. And that space also had kind of ability to be able to do some more workshops and hands-on kind of making with the materials that we materials that we have in the space already.
So just to clarify, where are you collecting your materials from? Is it?
Well, we only collect materials from within the university. So it could be from a department moving from one building to another for renovations. It could be students leaving materials over at the end of the school year. It could be a professor retiring and they leave some supplies behind. It could be just general cleanup at the end of each semester, opening a drawer, opening a closet and realizing there's a bunch of stuff in there. That's generally where we get our materials from.
Great. So speaking of waste in that area, we do collect a lot of waste, especially in our homes, especially during the holiday period. So what are some of the biggest sources of waste that we accumulate during the holidays?
So one of the biggest sources of waste is food containers. So we've been doing a lot of takeout. We're guilty of that ourselves. And with that comes different kinds of containers, whether it be things like, well, we've cut into this one, but styrofoam containers or food packaging too, just the styrofoam trays. And we'll talk about that a bit later. As well as the takeout, some more reusable takeout containers. So here I've actually turned it into a bit of a gift box, and so you can put cookies in there or a meal to share with a friend or family member that's in need. And so that's one of the things there's a big impact there. But looking at differently at those packaging and seeing how we can turn it into an item of reuse.
But we'll talk a little bit in a few moments about like what to do with some of those takeout containers, but that's a big area of waste, whether you're cooking more or you're ordering out, we're eating at home. So how the food gets to us seems to be more packaged these days. So think about using those types of materials. Also, it is the season to decorate and improve our spaces. So, we're spending a lot of time in our homes, and with the holidays around the corner, we might want to spend a little bit extra time to beautify and kind of create an ambiance within our space. And that's commonly done with maybe plastic decorations or garlands, or maybe things that you would buy at a kind of dollar store or a big box store. But we're really trying here to encourage you to use what you already have. So we have some decoration ideas coming up.
So one of the things that we encounter a lot at CUCCR is file folders. There's so many file folders on campus, and so we end up with these pieces of metal, and I started experimenting with them. You can see I didn't have much luck with this one. But then as time went on and I used my handy pliers, I was able to turn them into some nice decorations for around the house, so the star and this sort of Christmas tree of some kind. So whether it goes in a doorway or if you do celebrate Christmas, put it on a tree. Even decoupaged it a little bit and put some paper on it using either glue or Mod Podge, which is another material to sort of stick it all together. Or a wheat paste, or even a rice. You can make a rice flour paste if you're gluten intolerant. So different things to a different way of upcycling a material that otherwise we don't know what to do with. So that's one way. Another way is those styrofoam packages that we were talking about before. Is with a dull pencil or even a pen, you can see here we sort of made a print on it, and by applying some paint or some ink on it, then you can press it onto a piece of paper and make your own gift wrap or wrapping paper. And this is actually an old takeout paper bag. So, it all comes full circle.
So killing two whole categories of waste, the wrapping and the takeout. Exactly.
And also, I mean, it's a time of year where it's very, the outside is changing and things are not as green as they once were. But, if you do have some trees in your backyard or in a public space that you have access to, making some small trimmings and adding that as decorations inside your home. Pine cones is another good one. We've been doing some dried fruit, so taking some orange rings or apple rings and drying those out, making decorations. Also using fruit again, using a clementine here to make a nice decoration. This has cloves inside of it, so it gives a nice smell inside your home.
Yeah, when this is done, you can remove the ribbon and compost it.
Yeah, or put it in a nice hot cider, a little apple juice, a little cranberry juice, boil that on the stove, and it makes for a nice holiday punch.
And it is possible to dry fruit in an oven. You don't need a dehydrator for it.
It is. There's lots of resources online. Usually it's the lowest setting on your oven, and just having some way to keep the oven door ajar. So some of the heat does escape, but that's a good way of drying without a dehydrator. Yeah. Other things here. So
yeah.
So speaking of packaging, or
they don't have.
Okay, you go ahead.
So I'm making these really cute, ridiculous, tiny tubes, and they're made out of scrap material. Just like a little bit of odds and ends of some yarn, a toilet paper tube or paper towel roll, or even this tiny one is from the inside of a wrapping paper that was all used up. So starting with a little ring, and you cut basically about 6 inches of yarn, a bunch of them, and you wrap them like as a slip knot. So you fold here, and I've been wrapping this around here, stick this through, and make a little slip knot past this through. And as you sort of go all the way around, that makes the kind of brim of your hat. And then when you're completely done, you're going to stick that through. Gosh, it's horrible. And then you're going to take another little piece of yarn. Oops, got to get these little buddies. You take all of that together, and we'll use another piece of yarn to tie our top, and then kind of trim away. Make your little pom-pom on top. So that's like a fun little silly one. You can kind of trim that up and either hang it in a garland or maybe on a tree or as a gift topper, or on even just as a hat, as a cat hat. You never know.
Yeah, maybe a mouse hat.
It should be a hashtag competition. Where have I placed this hat?
Yes. Place it outside on the mailbox. Bring a little joy.
Back around to packaging and wrapping paper, actually. An alternative is to use fabric, either scraps that you have around the house and sort of trim them to a nice square, or maybe in this case, we've used an old napkin and just tied it up. And adding a little bit of nature to it. There's a cinnamon stick in here as well. Really great way of packaging something without paper or plastic. And then you can get your napkin once the person has opened their gift. And you can bring that back home.
Another really great thing is just to be reusing your maybe things that you already have, like to package new gifts in. Maybe this is you got some, maybe it was takeout, maybe it was local shopping that you did before this time. These are also really wonderful to refill as sort of a fabric bag. You could also make a bag, and those can be reusable every year. Put that under the tree. You don't necessarily, or give it as a gift. You don't necessarily know what's inside, but it eliminates some of that wrapping paper waste, which is a big one.
We've also been upcycling some cards as well as the file folders we spoke about earlier. So here's sort of double duty. It was a file folder. We can see a bit of the print from the inside, but I added some nice paper on the inside to write a nice message. And then I've cut out an old card front and then stuck it on this new card. So kept the message that I got from that family member before, but sort of made it into a new card this way. Or classic is making a, cut out a snowflake, stick that on the front, and again, put some newer paper on the inside for the message that you might put there.
And especially with so many people looking for activities to do at home, and especially for kids and all kinds of things, it would be such easy things to do.
Absolutely. I also want to encourage people to look in their cupboards and think about gifts that are coming from the kitchen. So this is a really fun gift. It's hot chocolate mix. So layered there. I've seen cookies and brownies. There's lots of different recipes on how to layer and what ingredients go in. And then somebody, when they receive the gift, can make that at home. Other things like jams and jellies or preserved fruits from, or these are hot peppers from the fall, make really great gifts as well. Consumable, the containers reusable. You're not really thinking about a lot of waste there. And it's a very lovely way to spread a little bit of sweetness. So what else
or spiciness.
I think that's about it for that section of.
So especially at the holidays, we're noticing that more things are going to be arriving by the post. It's going to be our main method of getting gifts to and from our family members. So that's going to come with a lot of waste. We already have seen it whenever we order something online. So how would you mitigate that aspect?
So we actually saw, we were in a colleagues meeting this morning, and they shared the fact that they've been taking boxes that they've been receiving so far, cutting them up, and then drawing a new box on it that's specific to a gift that they want to send to someone. And so rebuilding the box. So, you might get a box in the mail, something in it. This was, I don't even know what this was, but so taking that same box, cutting it up into smaller pieces, and then building other boxes from them. And then getting creative with the packaging inside. So using, we have some shredded paper here. So if you're sending something fragile, I even have from an earlier project, some shredded chip bags, which also could be used to sort of help the fragile things stay safe. And getting back to the foam this is in this province, in the province of Quebec, it's trash. It's not going to get recycled. So, cut it up into tiny bits like a foam peanut and throw those around your gift inside your box.
There's a really great recipe on Zero Waste Chef. She's a blogger that I follow, and she's been making wheat paste with craft paper and creating kind of like with something like this, a strip, and then painting the wheat paste on and using that instead of plastic packing tape and on those packages that she's sending out. So kind of getting, a little bit more thoughtful about what you already have, and trying, instead of running out and buying a box or running out and kind of, making that have to happen, look and see what you already have. And I think we'll find, especially after being home so long, there's definitely usable materials that we already have in our houses. I also want to encourage reuse gifts, like the idea that you have to buy a new something. Regifting is a beautiful way to share something that is no longer useful with you with someone else that might be able to use that. So whether that be a specific item to a person, or whether you're donating kind of more towards a charity or something like that, it's really important to think about not, keeping what's in the world instead of it heading straight out into the landfill or recycling.
Yeah,
and making new things
closets and drawers and things like that. And I haven't used this in a while, or I haven't worn that in a while. Well, package up, put a nice bow on it, and give it to someone that you know. Or
kitchen tools. Kitchen tools are a great thing to regift.
We do use those. There are, from time to time, there's ones like, oh, when was the last time I used this? So passing that on to someone else who might use it.
It is a good time of year to also try to rethink the potential of things that you may not have paid attention to in the past.
Repairing something.
An old sweater that has a hole in it, repairing that, learning how to. There's so many resources online that, how do I repair a sweater? I'm gonna actually do that over the holidays, so I gotta repair some sweaters.
So many YouTube videos too to help you out with that. So before we close out the interview, I wanted to know if CUCCR has any interesting projects or activities coming up in the winter months to help us with all of these initiatives.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, so we're launching December 1st, we're launching the care package. So you'll be able to sign up through a site on Concordia's webpage, where you can sign up to get a care package from us. It'll be sort of a mailer envelope that we have hundreds of, brand new, never been used. And over the last few weeks, we've been looking at all the different materials that we have at the depot, and looking at different categories of materials that we can put together. So we have one that's called sew. So you might get a bunch of fabrics, maybe a bit of thread, to do some sewing projects over the winter. So a way to sort of keep you going during the colder wintry months. Another one is collage. So a bunch of different bits and pieces of things that you can collage with. Another one being draw. So some nice papers to use to draw your daily thoughts, or a doodle, or whatever it might be. A build and tinker one, so there'll be some interesting bits and pieces in there to maybe build a decoration of some kind or something else. And then a mystery envelope. So that'll be, who knows, we'll see. We'll put a bunch of things in an envelope and send it along. It's open to everyone, so not just students. It's open to community members, it's open to teachers, it's open to staff, students, everyone.
Canadian addresses only, unfortunately. So we're shipping out hundreds of packages, hopefully, to our community. It will probably be in the winter semester. We're not expecting anything to arrive super promptly, especially as the postal system is a little overrun right now. But a nice way to kind of appreciate our amazing CUCCR community that usually would be taking things off of our shelves to make over the winter. And there's still materials that are coming in from Concordia, from different departments on campus. So this is a little way for us to send out our materials in a way to encourage community and making in a time where we're maybe more isolated and a little bit more dreary in this winter weather. So the website is the concordia.ca/CUCCR, and that will lead you right to our Concordia website. We do have a website that's regular, just that's CUCCR.ca. It will probably be linked there as well.
It's there, that links to it. Yeah.
And then that will be to request your package, and then we'll send that off as those requests come in, and we'll be able to kind of stay in touch with people and hopefully see what you're all making, because I really miss hearing about projects and seeing what people are making and seeing their ridiculous ideas come to life. So we hope that you join us in that project.
Yeah, we'll be partnering with the fourth space at Concordia to do some online live making sessions during January and February. So if you're interested in doing that, indicate on the form that you'd like to participate, or you maybe even lead a session, and we'll get connected on that.
Yeah, that's really fun. We're so happy to be doing that in partnership with Dean of Students and Sustainable Concordia and the fourth space. It just has been like a great way to continue to show that we care and spread that joy kind of around.
I am really loving how the Concordia community has sort of rallied and managed to even though things are a little bleak, we've managed to sort of create these online worlds to maintain the community presence, just like the holiday market.
This is so wonderful to be able to see all of the vendors and do some of that shopping and support local people that we're used to seeing in the EV atrium. But yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, I'm going to wish you a happy holiday, and thank you very, very much for sharing all your work with CUCCR. And I hope that our participants will find some wonderful creative things to do with all of their at-home junk.
I'm sure you will.
Happy
holidays. Take care.